With Wealth for Life, there is a little bit of personal care.
We didn't go through the investing, and I don't think we would be where we are today.
I would never go to a bank directly again.
Let's do it together.
They're giving me more confidence.
We feel totally secure now.
It was just easy.
There's a capability there that we didn't even know we had.
Stressful wise, Anthony's always there.
After the first meeting, those fears were gone.
They make us comfortable before we made the next step to invest.
Who wants to work until they're 80? Seriously.
We actually have seen the benefits.
It's like nothing's changed, but we're getting wealthier every day.
They've laid out the plan out for the next 20 years and
looks great.
And I know exactly where I'm going.
They really are the real deal.
We feel included.
I'm able to retire at a very younger age.
We're in the process of building our dream home after 18 years being stuck in the one home.
Financial independence for us and for our children.
Build something for our son, Rocco.
And set up our kids' futures as well.
Set themselves up for life.
They were amazing.
So certainly will make a big difference to you.
They changed our lives.
We feel included.
Go to Wealth for Life. Full stop.
Hey guys, Anthony Peluso here, coming at you one more time for this Wednesday, 8th of July in our webinar series. I think we should actually give these webinar series a name. We had a name a few months ago, but like everything else in 2020, God knows where it's gone. Anthony Peluso, CEO, founder of Wealth for Life. And the year 2020 just gets crazier and crazier and crazier. Who can make heads or tail of what this 2020 means for us? As of yesterday, good news, bad news, indifferent news, you decide. Reserve Bank of Australia held its position, its cash rate at 0.25%. Probably no surprise to any investors or homeowners or people in the finance space. And also the lovely state of Victoria, my state of Victoria, reintroduced its stage 3 restrictions for COVID-19. What does that mean? How do you guys feel about that? Being locked again in your own homes, except for, essential services, going to work, getting food. What else? Surfing. No, not surfing. It's another interesting turn of events. Okay, we had lockdown in a particular northern part of Victoria, I think over the weekend, and now stage 3 restrictions in the greatest state in Australia, Victoria, but I'm biased, for the next 6 weeks. I'd like to get your feedback, guys. Hit me up. Let me know what your thoughts are on the latest lockdown restrictions, what that means to you, what you think it means to the property market, to your families, to your work, to your health, to your well-being, to your financial well-being. Daniel Andrews. Many, many words come to mind. This premier of ours, huh? But I'd rather not get myself into trouble. Anyway, we're not here to talk politics. We're here to give you a good time, give you some good news, some indifferent news, and maybe the worst news you've ever heard. All right? It comes down to how you look at it. So, what will happen to the Australian property market with the latest COVID spikes in Victoria, in Australia? Because let's face it, when you're talking about the property market in Australia, you're talking about Melbourne and Sydney, okay? The two biggest cities in Australia that generate the most employment, the greatest amount of population increase, and of course, the greatest growth and performance in the property markets. Okay, for those of you that still think going up north to Queensland and South Australia, I love those cities, I love those towns, I love those states, but it's a no-no when it comes to making money, okay, based on my experience and based on the experience of our clients, our wealthy clients. So, is this the final nail in the coffin? I mean, Jesus, I tell you, sometimes I think, you know what, let's just nail 2020 shut and just put it to an end and bring on 2021. I'm begging for New Year's Eve. Hey, what do you think we're going to do New Year's Eve this year? Oh, God, I can still remember where I was. It seems so long ago. New Year's Eve last year. You know, you're writing down your New Year's resolution, your goals. I remember going out to a favourite cafe the following day with my wife and we were going through all our goals for 2020. Who would have thought, that we'd be where we are? But, I've said it before and I'll say it again, and I'm proven correct every day. One person's adversity is another one's opportunity. Okay? More and more so. So, how will the property market survive during these restrictions? Because you know what, it does affect more than just the state of Victoria. You know, we've closed off the border to New South Wales. I got friends of mine that are kind of they sound like Mexicans. You know, we've got to get across the border over to New South Wales and go do what we've got to do. And I've had some staff members that have had to fly back home to New South Wales. It's crazy times trying to keep everybody in the one place. But I'd love your feedback. How are you guys getting through this? What does it mean to you guys? Hit me up with your feedback. I'd love to answer your questions. Here's my take. Here's my take on the whole scenario. I'm going to give you some interesting numbers in a minute. I've already said that the Reserve Bank held the cash rate at 0.25% yesterday. I don't see that changing for at least 3 years, okay? And that's common sense for a lot of people in the industry. You'll have very, very cheap, low interest rates for a very, very long time. Doesn't necessarily mean you can get a loan, okay? And it doesn't necessarily mean that, what an interest rate for one person doesn't mean that you'll get the same interest rate, okay? I was talking to a client earlier this morning who we got an interest rate for, 2.7%, and, principal and interest, home loan. And then we had another one today at 2.2, okay? Different criteria, different amounts of money being borrowed, different lender, different loan-to-value ratios. It's not a case of one rate fits all. So do your homework, do your due diligence, come and see us here at Wealth for Life, and we'll have a chat to you, because each person's situation, especially in 2020 and the current financial landscape, is different. Okay, so what are some of the concerns that we have out there right now with regards to property prices? Number one, rising unemployment, potentially falling incomes, definitely tougher lending standards. If you've gone and applied for a loan recently, you will understand what I'm talking about, okay? Everything takes a little bit longer, contrary to what you may be hearing from others. The fastest I've seen a loan go through in the last 3 months is, funny enough, 3 weeks from start to finish. That's the fastest, okay? And I'm seeing some loans take up to 3 months, okay? The best way to beat that is have your financial affairs in place. Make sure that your financial documentation is up to date. Tax returns are done. Loan statements are up to date. Pay slips are up to date. Give no reason for banks to say no to you. All right? First step, talk to a mortgage broker. Mortgage broker works on your side of the fence. Okay? They're trained to get you money. Banks are trained to not give you money. That's a fact. Many people don't know this. When you go to a bank, you've got their sales team, like the frontline guys, they want you to come and get a loan, right? So they'll invite you in, and sweet talk you with their spiel over the phone. And that's great. That's great. But the decisions don't get made by the guys on the phone, okay? The guys that make the decisions when it comes to lending money, you don't get to talk to, all right? And their job is to pick holes in your financial application, okay? They're trained to find reasons why you shouldn't get a loan, okay? So make sure you're dealing with someone that can present your case in the best possible way when it comes to getting a loan, all right? Getting a little bit diverted here. So keep in mind, guys, tougher lending standards, and, who knows what's going to happen at the end of September when the honeymoon period for people that have been holding off on making, home loan repayments may come to an end. So those of you guys, and I think it's 1 in 15 that have paused their home loan repayments, investment repayments, whatever you want to call it. that time's running out. So make sure you've got a plan in place. If the banks come knocking and say, hey, time for you to start paying your mortgage again, right? You want to be in a position where you can do that should that situation arise. So I'm hearing that property prices again could fall up to 10%. I'm going to share some figures with you guys. Only 8 days old. You ready? Okay, I think this came from CoreLogic. Sydney prices in the quarter of April, May, June, last fourth quarter of the 1920 financial year. Sydney prices dropped by 0.8%. Okay, Melbourne prices went backwards by 2.3% over the quarter. Brisbane 0.2%. Adelaide went up 0.7%. Perth backwards by 1.4%. Hobart up by 1%. Darwin up by 4.04%. Canberra up by 0.7%. That's the last 3 months, okay, up to June 30, 8 days ago. So in all, nationally, the average over the last quarter, property prices have gone backwards by 0.8%. Let me ask you guys a question. Is that really going to impact anyone? Property prices going back 0.8%? And should you really be getting into the property market when you're looking at the short-term play? As I said before, when it comes to real estate, it's not a short-term play. Unless you're a builder or a developer or a flipper or a renovator where you buy, renovate and sell, effectively trade property, okay? Most people that invest in real estate are in there for the long haul. So don't pay a lot of attention to what property prices have done over the last month or the last quarter, because you know what? That's all the media is going to tell you, okay? Media very rarely tells you what the property market's done over the last 15 years. And then they give you nothing but doom and gloom in terms of what it's going to do moving forward, okay? So just be careful you don't get distracted or, scared into like fear-mongering. Property prices over a long-term play. I've held a portfolio for just over 20 years right now, okay? Done extremely well. I don't think I've bought one property, right, that I didn't get into that I was going to hold for at least 20 years, okay? So if you're getting into the real estate market, understand you're going to have, some turbulence, right? You're going to have some pain. It's the way property operates, okay? It's the way property performs. Over a long-term period of time, you will do very well. That's why it's still considered the number one asset class all over the world, okay, as an investor, okay? So make sure you're looking at it from a long-term proposition. I strongly advise that unless you do it for a living and, like I said, you're a builder or a developer or you're trading property, don't buy property if you're looking to get in and get out over a 12-month period. You will be the one disappointed and nobody else, okay? So, not much movement over the last quarter. So certainly there's certainly no need for anybody to go panicking or start selling off their properties because, they've had some issues with tenants, right? Another thing that you may not realise too, sales activity in the month of May was up to 21% and 29% in June. So that's established property, new property going through predominantly real estate agents, okay? And last week, auction clearance rates across the nation sat on an average of 65.1%. Okay, so not exactly the doom and gloom that you pick up and read in the press and in the media, okay? Now, the question, what's the property market going to do over the next 12 months? Lee, do you have a crystal ball? No. What is the property market going to do over the next 12 months? Okay. I don't think there's anybody that's going to be able to tell you exactly what the market's going to do. But having been doing this now for 20 odd years and studying the markets going back all the way to 1960, and yes, we are in unprecedented times right now with coronavirus and the lockdowns and the restrictions and what else 2020 has got ahead for us, who knows? But I do know one thing, okay? The demand right now for certain pockets, certain markets, is overwhelming. If you look at the millennials right now, if you look at owner-occupiers, you know, we are seeing a screaming amount of activity in that 25 to 35-year-old bracket right now where kids are leaving the nest, have saved up a little bit of a deposit, getting a little bit of help from mum and dad, and are going out there buying their own home. Given the first home owners grant, the saving in stamp duty under a certain price point, the home builder boost grant, the deposit scheme, it's making it, and interest rates, of course, it is really attractive right now. It's incredibly attractive if you're a homeowner and you can get lending from the bank, okay? So there's a massive amount of demand right now in certain pockets for homeowners. Price points generally under $750,000. And those guys are really putting a lot of pressure on prices. The demand is outrageous. Banks are writing more loans than ever right now. The demand for lending is higher than ever, hence the delays in the bank when it comes to getting a loan. But again, a smart investor would understand that that's going to help their real estate. That's going to help their properties. That's going to help their portfolio. If you're an investor right now, it doesn't really matter what the property market is going to do over the next 12 months. If you're a homeowner, you don't care anyway. But if you're an investor, why would you care what the property market is going to do over the next 12 months? I just said you don't buy real estate for the short-term play. You've got to go long, okay? Don't pay too much attention to the next 12 months. Understand that you need to buy good quality A-grade real estate that gives you super capital growth and very, very strong cash flow. You know, I'm not going to get into the argument that one is better than the other. You need both, and you can get both, okay? And especially in today's market right now, July 2020, there are incredible opportunities, but you got to get off your ass. Get off the couch, turn off the TV. You need to look. The people that are looking are finding incredible opportunities right now. I've got a letter of unconditional finance approved for one of our clients today, whose name I won't mention, obviously, but these guys, I hit these guys up back in, I think, February this year. They've made $75,000. What's February? Second month of the year. $75,000 in 5 months. Who would like $75,000 in 5 months without having to go to work? That's the power of real estate. That's what's available out there. But it ain't going to come knocking on your door. You've got to get off your ass. You've got to pick up the phone. You've got to make that phone call into us. Our organization wins when you win. Do you get that? When you guys win, we win, and never before. That's the power of investing. That's the power of real estate, creating wealth and buying the right property and setting up the right strategy moving forward, okay? I have so much fun being able to sit there with clients and looking at what their next 20 years could look like. It's exciting for them and it's exciting for me as a CEO, as a founder. And my staff love it because they get to help so many Australians get out of this financial trap of just working 9 to 5, okay? Hey, there is nothing wrong working 9 to 5. And right now, it's more powerful than ever and more important than ever that you're working 9 to 5. And God bless you if you're in a position right now to be working 9 to 5, hats off to you. God bless you, and that's an incredible achievement in today's state of play. But you're not going to make it just working 9 to 5. 9 to 5 alone will not help you. If you've been watching my my webinar series and even the seminars that we were doing when we could when we could actually leave our homes and leave our offices, you'll understand, guys, that the system in this country and most countries in the world is set up against you. And you know what? It's actually purposely set up for you to fail. Okay, if you understand money, our economic climate, our economic system, the way tax works, Just working 9 to 5 will leave you in a mess when you decide to stop working, when you go looking at retiring, okay? Your superannuation isn't enough. I don't care what any financial planner tells you. It's absolute bullshit, okay? If you want to live on this planet, right, in 2020 and beyond, you need to start paying attention to your finances, okay? You need to stop putting your hand over your eyes and putting it in the too hard basket. Yes, money can be very, very difficult to confront for people, okay? But you need to start paying attention because you will get to a point when it is too late, okay? And at that point in time, you can give it all the attention you want. Guess what? No one's going to be able to help you, all right? Pay attention. Look. Somebody once told me, right, get interested in looking. Get interested in what's going on out there, right? I got it. If you pay attention to the freaking media, it's like you think the world's going to end any minute. Funny thing is, though, guys, there's a lot of people that actually don't pay attention to the media, okay? Sure, they want to know what the weather forecast is so they can plan for their day. But you know what? There are people out there that watch the media and use the information to their advantage. And you've got to know how to do that, okay? You can't play this game of investing in wealth creation like everybody else does. Because right now, given the announcements over the last few days, you're going to find most Australians and most Victorians are going to be locked up at home, not leaving because they're being told they can't. I get that, right? You've got to abide by the law. You know, they're going to be struggling to even get out and get their food. You know, we'll probably go into this restrictions of, you know, what was it, toilet paper? Seriously, guys, if toilet paper is your number one priority when you walk into Safeway and Coles, you have issues. You have issues. That's the last thing you care about in during a pandemic or during a lockdown, all right? So you got to play the game differently, okay? You got to play the game differently prior to COVID-19 and certainly during and after COVID-19, okay? Simple rule that I've always applied in my life, okay? Simple rule. Look at what 95% of the population are doing and do the exact opposite, okay? One thing is for certain. If you have a look at the statistics, if you have a look at the amount of people that do well financially, sadly, 94 to 95% of Australians struggle financially by the time they get to 65. 95%. Don't believe me, go to the Australian Bureau of Statistics. In fact, it's probably even scarier. Okay? So why would you do or take advice or behave in the same way as those 95%? You want to put yourself in that 6% bracket to give yourself a hope. Okay? So if most people right now in 2020 are going down that path, one thing I'll tell you, you need to do the opposite. You need to pay a little bit more attention, obviously, but you don't want to be in that corner. Okay? Because you know what kind of results those people get. Okay? And I'm not talking more, it's not even so much financially, it's actually like mindset. Okay? You know, the way you make decisions, the way you come to conclusions, the way you spend your time, the way you invest your money, how you spend your money. Just pay attention to that, guys. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Don't let this opportunity pass you by. You're probably thinking, Anthony, opportunity? Really? July 2020? Right? You know what? You guys out there may choose to see it as adversity, that poor me, the world's coming to an end, we're in lockdown, you know, I'm going to wait and see what property prices do. Let me tell you something. The same people that wait and see what property prices are going to do and have this view that property prices are going to drop by 10, 20% because they saw it on Channel 9 News, right? Are also the same people that when the market's booming are sitting back saying, hey, you know what, market's too hot, I'm going to wait for it to cool down. And you know what I've noticed with these people? You know what they end up doing in life? Big fat zero. Big fat zero. They do nothing. They give you an excuse when things are great, they give you an excuse when things are bad, and they give you an excuse with regards to everything in between, okay? Nobody is going to knock on your door and give you success or hand you money or create wealth for you. Nobody. You have to get off your ass in Australia in 2020. You need to get off your ass and you need to knock doors down. Okay? So that's my take on the market moving forward. It's really interesting. You just every morning's a different game every morning's a different game in this country. And I know a lot of you right now are sitting there going, "Damn it! How many more punches can I take in 2020? How many more knocks can I take before I hit the ground and don't get back up?" All right. And I get that. I can see that. I understand that people could be feeling like that. But if you want to be a success, this is going to end. I've said, it is going to end. I actually have a prediction with regards to when it's going to end. Okay. But this is going to end. And the question that you need to ask yourself is, what position are you going to be in financially when this does end? Are you going to be like the rest of the country that's going to run for the property market and run for a bank loan when it's safe, according to the media or according to the mass mentality? Or are you going to do what the greatest success stories in the world have always done? And that's take advantage of the opportunities in times of adversities. Okay? Look at the biggest brands, the biggest organization, the most successful investors, the ballers as they call them. All right? The greatest success stories have risen during times of adversity. Okay? And they've gone on to create an amazing legacy. Okay? You know who these companies are. Just pay attention to what's going on out there, guys, okay? There are incredible opportunities out there right now. If you're a homeowner, Stevie Wonder could see it if you're a homeowner, right? If you're an investor, there's also amazing opportunities out there. Get off your backside. Give us a call, 1300-793877. You can wish me happy birthday too. I turned, the big 50 last week. I could go on that forever. And thank you, by the way. So many of you guys reached out to me. I was really humbled and quite overwhelmed, actually, for all your birthday wishes and it was really cool. So 1300-793877. Give me a call or give us a call at Wealth for Life or go to wealthforlife.com.au. Guys, sort your money out this year, okay? We're halfway through winter, halfway through the year. There's good times ahead. Be careful what you put your attention on in the media. Not everything you read and see is true. Hope you got a lot out of it, guys. Thank you so much. Hit me up with any feedback. I'm curious to see what you think of these latest restrictions if you're in Victoria and New South Wales or anywhere else in the world. Until next Wednesday night, we'll see you soon. Stay safe.